La Ode is just a hop, skip, and a jump. A hop, skip, and a jump up the coast from Saint-Denis. Well, here it is. It's a quaint little fishing village. It's sitting right on the water, of course. Nice little dock here. Very friendly people live here. It's just a pretty lazy little town. You got Glonnagoth here. He's a good friend of Fargoth, of course. Looks like a good dude. Well, part of the work I do here in Morrowind is keeping tabs on the comings and goings of people and things in Vvardenfell. You know, the Emperor's a busy man and he can't always be everywhere at once, so he sends people like me out to conduct inspections of various elements of society. And it goes without saying that this video is for Emperor Uriel Septim's eyes only. My lord, I'm going to be conducting a clockwise survey of this town, visiting each building's interior, and of course reporting if I find anything of note. So with that, let's begin in the first building. This is Oker's house. It is a quaint wooden shack with a thatched roof located on the south end of town near the road. And with that, I will pull on the rope handle and open the door to the interior. By order of Uriel Septim, you will submit to a home inspection at this time. Please remain where you are. Thank you. Okay, this appears to be a dimly lit poor person's home. The homeowner is at home currently. There is a fire burning in the corner. This could be a potential hazard to one's health. However, there is a chimney built into the roof to allow the smoke to ventilate. Oker appears to be in good health, so there should be no cause for concern, though it is something to keep an eye on.
What do you ask of me?
Nothing, ma'am. Just remain where you are and allow me to conduct my inspection. Thank you. Now, Oker has two barrels. One of them is a wooden barrel, and the other one is just a barrel. This is a curious phenomenon, to be sure. However, likely there is no need to investigate this any further. Inside these barrels, there are Kwama eggs and various general ingredients one could use to cook or create potions. Above the barrels there are two baskets suspended. Likely these are fish traps, no doubt used to catch fish. Near the barrels there are 4 sacks. In them are contained various ingredients. Once again, no cause for concern there. There's a haphazard pile of firewood in the corner. Normally I would like to see this cleaned up. However, at the rate the fire is burning, I believe these logs will be tossed into the fire in short time, and thus organizing them would be an inefficient use of time. On Oker's table, there is a large book called Lives of the Saints. This appears to be a generalized overview of some of the Dunmer saints worshipped by the temple. While we do encourage the practice of the imperial religion here on Vvardenfell, we must admit that the established temple will hold a dominant position in the culture for the foreseeable future. I will leave a recommendation with Oker that she investigate the imperial cult. We may just win another convert in time. Aside from that, there are various poor quality bowls, cups, utensils, and bottles littering the table. They appear to be clean and orderly, and of course this does not warrant any citations at this time. The table is poorly designed, however, and would not allow any legs to be under the table when seated upon the wooden stool, seemingly paired to the table. However, Oker appears to prefer standing regardless. Oker appears to sleep on the floor on a bedroll. There's a sack near the bed that has nothing but rice inside. This is fine. There are 3 sacks in the corner containing more general ingredients. There is a locked chest. I must inform you that according to Bylaw 47E of the Imperial Inspection Charter, I will be investigating your locked containers to ensure that you are not harboring any illegal substances or other contraband. Your cooperation is appreciated. In the chest, there is a blue clay pot worth 2 gold, a bottle worth 1 gold, 5 gold drakes, and a redware pot worth 5 gold. These will all be confiscated in the name of the Emperor.
Stop the thief!
And finally, on a barrel near the door, there is a bottle and a cup, and inside the barrel, storage for various knickknacks. Nothing we need to worry about at this time. Oker, thank you for your cooperation, and long live the Emperor. Goodbye.
What do you want?
Well, I just want to know who you are, ma'am. You're a commoner, I see, and you do whatever needs doing. That's a story I've heard before. You best be looking out for yourself and make sure you don't arouse any suspicion. Well, let's continue to the next home here. This is Adila Balvel's house. Adile Balvel. Fadila Bavel. It would appear that there was a mistake in the designation of this home. It appears to belong to that person, however, the spelling of the name is incorrect. This is a shabby shack that is suspended on a weird sort of frame. A strange place to build a home, to be sure. Let's see what's inside. Oh my, it would appear that there is a man in here. Sir, stay where you are. I am on official business from the Emperor. Do not attack me. Now by the door there is a bucket, and I believe this is the poop bucket where she poops, and this man may also poop in there. I'll determine that in good time. Now suspended there is another basket here. Lord knows what that's used for. A beautiful blue lantern is here, and notably it is lootable. In the corner there is a barrel. In the barrel there are various things not important at all. Now in the crate below the barrel there is absolutely nothing. On the surface there is a bottle. On the table there is a glass lantern, a jug, a bottle, a cup, a bowl, a plate, a fork, a spoon, a cup, and a book. Now this book, called A Dance in Fire Chapter 1, is worth 150 drakes. It is puzzling why some... What a beautiful song. It is puzzling why such a poor person would have such an expensive book. I will be keeping this in mind as I conduct further investigations. This table is also poorly designed. Now, of course, I must investigate this locked chest at the foot of the bed. In the chest there's an iron shield, a very expensive restore personality potion, 3 gold, and a bowl. Under the bed there is nothing, and in the bedside barrel there is nothing. 3 candles are haphazardly burning away on top of the barrel. This could be a fire hazard. Underneath the pillow, there is nothing. There is some sort of privacy screen set up next to the bed. I wonder if that is because this is a shared home with this man here. Rondar Highlander, a disagreeable fellow, to be sure. Rondar informs me that this is a Kamanatong territory. If you don't know, the Kamanatong is a local criminal organization. There is no doubt we should be keeping a close eye on this territory. Perhaps we need another deployment of Imperial peacekeepers. Now finally, by the door there is a pile of sacks containing various ingredients. A wooden barrel with salt rice, a wooden barrel with kwama eggs, and a cloth sack with hackalo leaf. Curiously, there is a chimney above the bed, however there is no fire burning, but perhaps it is so that the candles can ventilate their smoke. All this will conclude the inspection of this home. Thank you for your cooperation, sir. Go back to your business. There is a bench set up outside of this home, but no one has ever been seen to be sitting upon it. We will have to draw our own conclusions about the... Oh my goodness, I've been attacked by a crab. Help! Help! Guards! Guards! Please, I am in need of assistance. Will anyone help me? Anyone at all? Will you help me? Guard? Folks, this is an emergency. There we go. Get him, guards. Ah, thank you. Safe at last. Damn these mud crabs. Nasty creatures. Well, now that the danger is over, we can continue to our next home. Outside this home, there are 2 barrels, and one contains many ingredients. The other does not. This house belongs to Marudius Flaeus. And here he is. Handsome fellow. Marudius, tell me about yourself. Ah, you're a pauper. I pity you. You are one of the humble small folk. I bet you make your way in the world the best you can, laboring in the fields, kitchens, and factories of lords and merchants. I suppose when times are good, you live well enough by your own work, but when times are hard, you probably must hope for the charity of nobles and wealthy merchants. Truly a pitiable existence, if ever there was one. May the gods have mercy on you, sir. Now stay right where you are, because I'm going to be inspecting your home for any ill-begotten goods or structural anomalies. Now this appears to be an unkempt home. There are bottles littering the floor. There is a fishing pole haphazardly leaning against the wall, no doubt used for catching fish. His poop bucket has been elevated to a high status of reverence upon this lovely crate here. There are random sacks in the corner containing disgusting things. There's a large piece of wood leaned up against the corner. This could be a hazard if it were to fall upon any house guests or the homeowner himself. Sir, you should remove this hazard from your home. Now, upon his table, we find an extremely expensive book valued at 300 gold. Perhaps this pauper is engaged in crimes. It seems unreasonable to expect such a poor man to expend such a large amount of gold on a luxury such as an expensive book. Extremely suspicious, Meridius. Now, the book appears to be about fighting. It appears to be a training manual for hand-to-hand combat, so we can only conclude that Meridius is a common criminal engaged in violent acts of thuggery, and he will be promptly arrested, rest assured. This table is littered with crap, if I may say so. The barrel in the corner contains garbage, his basket, yet more garbage, and there is another large piece of wood in this home leaning up against the southeastern corner of the building. Truly puzzling. How did he get this in here? Why is it leaning against the corner? What is he thinking? Suspended from a rope dangerously above the table is a non-lootable red lantern, and carelessly placed on the floor underneath the flammable hammock where this man sleeps is a glass lantern burning away. This is a dangerous man. He keeps a dangerous home. In his basket there are various eggs of different sizes. In his wooden barrel there are more eggs. In his sacks we have bloat and cork bulb root, and in the other sack we have ash yam and grave dust. A truly random assortment of garbage for this garbage man. Well, Meridius, what do you have to say for yourself? That's what I thought. You got nothing to say, do you? You make me sick. You make me sick. Goodbye. Well, that house left a poor taste in my mouth. Let's go to the next one and hope it's a bit nicer.
What is this about?
You be quiet. Along the dock here, we have, well, there appears to be a fishing stool with a fishing pole next to this next house. A pile of containers is sitting out on the docks containing eggs that surely will spoil in this hot sunshine. Bottles, cups, and plates, and gold somehow left carelessly in this outdoor storage bin. Nothing in this barrel, and a steel staff in the crate, perplexingly placed. How could a long staff fit in the crate, you might ask? Well, keep asking. No one knows. And of course there is a lovely lantern adorning the top of the container. Now this next home belongs to Relene Rirna, who I believe is standing right over here.
Speak freely.
I must be going, so if you could make it quick.
Not so fast, sir. I need to interview you before I inspect your home. Relene Rirna claims to be a commoner. He occupies his time doing whatever needs doing. A common story I've grown accustomed to hearing. Well, sir, I've heard enough out of you. Go about your business and I'll be in your house. Goodbye. Well, Mr. Rirna appears to be very poor. His home is extremely small and cramped, cluttered with an assortment of brown, dull, shabby-looking things. In the corner, one cannot help but smell upon entry the disgusting poop bucket that he keeps nearby the portal, no doubt for easy excrement expulsion. He also keeps a broom. However, I don't see how he could possibly delude himself into thinking that this home could ever be improved by simple sweeping. No. Much further renovation is required for this to be a livable space. Nevertheless, I will conduct my inspection fairly under the grace of my lord Urinal Septic. Allow me to begin now. In the sack by the door there is salt rice. In the barrel by the door there is a spoon, a petty soul gem, 5 gold, 1 goblet, and 1 bottle. In the 2 sacks next to the barrel there is dragwax worth 100 gold, chokeweed, and hackalow leaf. In the crates next to the bed there are 4 pieces of bread, 1 piece of paper, 2 baskets, 3 gold, 1 petty soul gem, 1 pitcher, 1 spoon. In the sack on top of the crate there is chokeweed, green lichen, and scathecraw. Under the bed, under the hammock, there is absolutely nothing. A close inspection behind the crates in the corner reveals there is nothing hiding in the corner. So far so good. No criminality has thus far been detected. His hammock is quite small, perhaps more suitable for a child. Come to think of it, I have not seen any children here in this town, but that is neither here nor there. There is a very gross-looking pillow, and as is customary, I will inspect underneath the pillow, only to find nothing hiding below. In the barrel, under the candles, there is an elite hide, grave dust, salt rice, and trammer root. There is a curious locked chest here with a sophisticated lock, but it is no match for the tools provided to me by the Imperial Inspection Bureau. Inside the chest, there is a yellow glass bowl, an iron club, ash yam, a guide to Cedrith Mora, one of the other settlements here in Vardenfell, 10 pieces of gold, 1 petty soul gem, unfilled, and a redware pot, nothing justifying the high-level lock. Now on the table, there is a single setting for a single man, lonely as can be, a standard pewter plate, a wooden-handled knife, a fully wooden spoon, a wooden cup with visible wood grain, a bottle, and a jug. There are several eggs in a basket in the corner. I have placed them upon the table for easy consumption by the homeowner. Hopefully he will appreciate this and pay his taxes on time. Well, this concludes the inspection of Mr. Rirna's house. It has been found to be lacking, and I have found it wanting. Finally, we come to Shirkle Grosharga's house. By name, he is no doubt an orc. His home is on the edge of town, nestled between 2 big rocks.
Fight well.
There is no need to threaten me, Mr. Grosharga. I'm here on official Empire business. If you will simply remain where you are. I said, please remain where you are, and this will be over before you know it. Thank you. Mr. Grosharga appears to be living the life of a very poor person. In his pile of sacks, he has green lichen, salt rice, scuttle, salt rice, and salt rice. Mr. Grosharga appears to be too poor to afford a poop bucket. However, he does have a fine poop basket next to his bed. This will not help in the case of a runny shit. However, it will catch solid dumps just fine. Underneath his thick hammock, there is nothing. However, in the barrel next to the bed, there is a bottle, 2 goblets, 3 gold, 1 petty soul gem, and a plate. In the crate thereby, there is a quality restore agility potion, a cup, 5 gold, a petty soul gem, a pitcher, and a spoon. On Mr. Grosharga's table, there is a large jug of indeterminate contents. There is a wooden fork, a wooden spoon inside of a clay bowl, sitting atop a pewter plate. There is also a shitty cup. Just look at the state of this cup. There is a blue triple candle cluster upon a wooden barrel next to the table, inside of which we find 5 small Kwama eggs. And last but not least, there is a fishing pole, no doubt used for catching fish. Suspended in the basket on the ceiling, there is absolutely nothing. Thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Grosharga. I'll let you go about your business. Long live the Empire.
I must be going, so if you could make it quick.
Folks, I'd love to stay and chat, but I have business to conclude. Now, that concludes the tour of all the homes here. However, there is another building which we'll have to inspect just for the sake of. There is this other building we'll have to inspect because there are so many people here in town that do not appear to have homes. We can only conclude that they spend their time in this establishment over here. This will begin the inspection of the establishment known as Fat Legs Drop Off. This appears to be similar to the homes here in the town, however it is quite a bit larger, no doubt to accommodate more people. There appears to be a strange cat man named Rajid. There are a couple of baskets suspended from the ceiling, however they do not contain anything. The containers, such as wooden barrels and crates, in the room appear to contain merchandise that is no doubt for sale by the proprietor of the establishment. Curiously, there is a small pile of gold on the barrel in the center of the room, as well as a bottle and a jug. There is a very messy tabletop with 3 settings set up to accommodate 3 diners.
Not a lot of pretty ladies around here.
Indeed, sir, indeed. And the proprietor, Trasteve, stands in the corner, overlooking his domain. He's dressed in relatively fine garb, and he seems to be enjoying the warmth of his fire. Trasteve is a trader and claims to be a general merchant, buys and sells a little bit of everything, such as weapons, armor, clothes, books, miscellaneous items of all kinds. He invited me to take a look around and let him know if I need anything, but as I'm here on official business, I did not engage in any mercantile exchanges with the man. Thank you, sir. Now, curiously, there does appear to be a trapdoor in the corner of the room. Trasteve, I'm going to need to take a look down there just to make sure nothing untoward is going on. Rajid, stay right where you are, please. You're making me very uncomfortable. Here I go. Oh my goodness. Well, it appears that there is a large subterranean cavern hiding underneath Trasteve's shop.